Okay, alright, let's start. I'm Mike Cummings. I'm doing the neck tours right now. We're starting with the dorsalis trunci. Now the dorsalis trunci is a little above the arm. It's in the back there. It's this muscle right here. You can see it just above. There's a line there. You can see just a little of it. We just took a little of it off. That's the dorsalis trunci. It originates in the transverse processes of vertebrae, the myosepta, and it is also inserted into them, but they're different ones. So they connect together in myosepta, and their function is they're homologous to the apaxial muscles in the shark. Now, the next one is the rectus abdominis. That one is the. Oh yes, the rectus abdominis is an abdominal muscle. You can see it just around the arms there. It's actually kind of below at the bottom there, just before the linea alba. If you would see if the I'm sorry. The rectus abdominis is actually right here, right below the arms, and that's the rectus abdominis, and it continues around, and originates at the anterior pubis, and it is inserted into the rectus cervicus up here, and it is homologous to the hypaxial muscles in sharks. And then we have the external oblique, and that is again on the, it's actually on the side. The external oblique is this muscle right here. It's quite large. In fact, it's usually covered by the arm when we move the arm up, and it's actually not related to the arm entirely. There it is, the external oblique. It originates in the transverse processes of vertebrae. It is inserted into the connective tissue of the rectus abdominis, which I just showed you, and it is also homologous to the apaxial muscles of the shark. And below it is the internal oblique and the transversus, which if we had removed it, we would have exposed those two in sequence. They're both originated in the transverse process of vertebrae, and both are inserted into the connective tissue of rectus abdominis, and both are also homologous to the hypaxial muscles. Okay, now we're on to the dorsal and lateral head muscle. So we start with the abductor mandibular anterior and the adductor mandibular externus. And here is the externus, and here is the anterior. And the anterior originates in the parietal and the frontal bones, and they're inserted in dentary. The externus is similar. It originates in the parietal bone, not the frontal, just parietal, and then inserted into the dentary. And both of them serve to elevate the mandible and close the jaw, which is also means closing the jaws. And they're homologous to three muscles in the shark, and those three muscles are the levator palato quadrati, the adductor mandibular, and the preorbitalis. And then there's the depressor mandibulae, which opens the jaws, and that is a little harder to see, but it is right there. You can kind of see it. It's kind of thin, but there it is. It originates at the parietal and the squamosal bones, is inserted into the angular bone of the jaw, and it is homologous to the levator hyoidus in the shark. Then we have the branchiohyoidus. The branchiohyoidus is this one, the bigger one, the much, much bigger one. It was originated in the third visceral arch 3, and is inserted into visceral arch 2, the second visceral arch. It is homologous to the superficial constrictors, also in the arc, or the dorsal and lateral ventral ones, finally there is the levatoris arcuum, which is around the gills, and they've been cut, but you could see it right here, actually, connecting the gills. They're rather prominent, and that is homologous to the it originates in the fascia of dorsalis trunci, which I have showed you, and it is inserted into epibranchial cartilages in the gills, and it elevates them, and it is homologous to the cucullaris of the shark. Next, we go to the ventral throat musculature.
And then behind it we have the pectoralis.
So first we have the intermandibularis, which is the quite large muscle right here. It usually covers the whole thing. We removed a little down there. This isn't the best specimen for that though, but we removed what we were told. And below the the lower part of the intermandibularis is actually a separate muscle called the interhyoidus. This is the intermandibularis. This is the interhyoidus. The intermandibularis, it originates in the mandible, is inserted into the median raphe. It elevates the floor of the mouth and is homologous to the intermandibularis in the shark. The interhyoidus originates in the fascia of the depressor mandibulae, which I've showed you, and the branchiohyoidus. It is inserted into the median raphe and it elevates the floor of the mouth as well. And it is homologous to the interhyoidus of the shark. There's also something called the sphincter hyoidae. That is where is that? I don't.
It's not marked, but it's like lateral to or like posterior to it.
Okay. Oh, the sphincter hyoidae is actually the most posterior part of the interhyoidus. It's right here. You can kind of see it. It's posterior to the interhyoidus. It's pretty similar to the interhyoidus. It originates from the fascia depressor mandibulae and branchiohyoidus. It is inserted in the medium raphe and it elevates the floor of the mouth. And it is homologous to the regular interhyoidus in the shark. So it's pretty similar. It's different because of one of the muscle things. I don't know. Finally, we have the geniohyoid, and the geniohyoid is actually below the interhyoidus and sphincter colli right here. You can see it. We removed it a little. We went down and we saw another layer of muscle beneath, and that is the interhyoideus. That is the geniohyoid. We're removing the interhyoidus, and it originates in the mandible itself. It is inserted into the second basibranchial cartilage, and it depresses the lower jaw and protracts the hyoid apparatus. And it is homologous to the coracomandibular in the shark. All right, now we have the ventral pectoral musculature. Now, you might notice these ones here. It's also this one. So this is the procoracohumeralis. Procoracohumeralis. It originates in the procoracoid. It is inserted into the humerus, and it protracts the humerus, and is homologous to the pectoral fin abductors. The pectoral fin abductors in the shark. That isn't. And did I mention the origin insertion? Let me repeat that. The procoracoid inserts into the humerus, and it's homologous to the pectoral fin abductors. And then we have the supracoracoideus, and this is this one right here, the supracoracoideus, and this one, and it originates in the coracoid cartilage. It is inserted in the humerus as well, and it adducts the humerus. This protracted it, this adducts it, but it is also related to homologous to the pectoral fin abductors. And finally, we have the pectoralis, lower right here, just above the ones I showed before, and that originates in the linea alba, which is this black line, and it is inserted in the humerus. And it adducts the humerus as well, but this is homologous to the pectoral fin adductors, while the supracoracoideus and the procoracohumeralis were related to the abductors, regardless of what they actually do, of the shark. All right, now we have the dorsal pectoral musculature, the lateral musculature, the medial one, and let's start. It's all down here. Let's start with the pectoralis pectoralis, and that's the one right here. It originates in the epibranchial cartilages, inserted in the scapula, and it is related to the coracoauricular in the shark. Next, we have the cucullaris, which is this one right here. The cucullaris originates in the fascia of the dorsalis trunci, which you've heard of, inserted in the scapula near the glenoid fossa, which is a hole in the scapula, and it is related to the cucullaris of the shark, homologous. Next, we have the rectus cervicus, which is kind of, if you can see it right here,
which are
It is.
above right here.
That is the.
And
Wait a minute. Oh, that's not what I want. This is the rectus cervicus right here. It originates in the rectus abdominis, which I've told you about.
And then we have
It is inserted the branchial cartilages, and is homologous to two muscles, which are the
and they insert the humerus. They are homologous to pectoral fin.
actually, it's related to one muscle, which is the coracoartiole.
Then we have the triceps brachialis.
Hold on, just gotta check this. Actually, no, it is two muscles: coracoartiole and coracohyoid. I was right the first time. That's what it's homologous to in the shark. Next, we have the dorsalis scapulae, which are thankfully a little easier to see. This is it. That's the dorsalis scapulae. It originates in the suprascapular cartilages and is inserted in the humerus on the other side this time. And it protracts the humerus, and it is related to the pectoral fin abductors of the shark. That's abductors with a B. And finally, we have the latissimus dorsi, and that is the. Actually, hold on. I pointed to this when I meant the dorsalis scapulae. That's the dorsalis scapulae. This is the latissimus dorsi, and the latissimus dorsi originates in the fascia dorsalis trunci. It inserts in the humerus, and is also actually related to the pectoral fin abductors. So this is the dorsalis scapulae. This is the latissimus dorsi. The last part of this is the forelimb musculature itself. Now we haven't done we've done the limbs around it, but we haven't done the limb itself. So first is the triceps brachii, which is the muscles right here. Hold on, actually, which is the it's muscle right here. It originates in the coracoid, scapula, and humerus, and is inserted into the ulna and extends the forearm. Then we have the coracobrachialis, which is where's the coracobrachialis? Hold on a second. Let's hold on a second. There it is. The coracobrachialis, which is right here. Here. You see these two muscles here? Well, the one on this one, hold on. Yes, this one is the coracobrachialis. That originates in the coracoid, it is inserted the humerus, and it adducts the arm, and is related to the pectoral fin adductors of the shark. And I didn't say what the triceps brachii was related to. That's homologous to the pectoral fin abductors of the shark. And then we have the other one here is the humeroantebrachialis. It originates in the humerus, is inserted into the radius, and it is homologous to the pectoral fin adductors with D of the shark. Then we have the flexors of the arm here, and the flexors are located on the the flexors. They're all located on. Hold on. I see the extensor. Oh, the flexors are located on this part of the forearm here. They serve to flex the forearm. They're both originated and inserted in the ventral antebrachium. They're related to the pectoral fin adductors. And finally, the
flexors aren't labeled anywhere.
Yeah, okay. And finally, the extensors are on this side. They originate and insert into the dorsal antebrachium, and they're related to the pectoral fin abductors. And that is it.